Record.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Hey, Calvin, thanks, man. Okay, so let me go back a little bit, just so that it's on the recording when I send it to you. We know that artificial intelligence fundamentally is computer software or robotics doing things that are usually associated with the human intellect. We know that. We also know that a subset to artificial intelligence, which we refer to as machine learning, we know that a subset to machine learning is what we call deep learning. So let me digress a little bit and go back to what it is that I was talking about as it relates to machine learning, right? And what I was talking about machine learning, it's this incredible ability to access information. So, artificial intelligence, then machine learning. The subset of machine learning is deep learning. Machine learning makes computers learn from data and experience to improve their performance on some task or decision-making process. Machine learning uses statistics and probability theory for this purpose. Machine learning uses algorithms to parse data, learn from it, and make determinations without explicit programming. So machine learning algorithms, I ain't even get into this, but they are usually categorized as supervised or unsupervised. Supervised algorithms can apply what has been learned, and unsupervised is just arbitrary information in so much that it allows it to be able to recognize various things. And then, of course, the deep learning, which we just talked about a little while ago, is when you had the neural networks and the layers associated with what did I say? Oh, let me go back. That's the subset. Deep learning is the subset of machine learning that uses the multi-layered artificial neural networks to deliver the accuracy as relates to object detection, speech recognition, and language translation. And the reason that deep learning is so crucial, it's actually the technology behind driverless cars when I think about it. And it enables machine analysis of large amounts of complex data, for example, recognizing the faces of people who appear in an image or a video. And then last thing I think I talked about was neural networks, which were inspired by biological neurons in the brain, are now composed of layers of connected nodes called neurons that contain mathematical functions to process incoming data and predict an output value. And what's the other thing? Artificial neural networks learn by example, similarly to how we learn from our parents, teachers, and peers. And I think the last thing was it consists of three layers: an input layer, hidden layers, and an output layer. And each one of those layers contains those nodes that we spoke about, which have inputs that compute the output. So I covered all that. Let me see. Oh, algorithms. We did talk about algorithms, right? So algorithms, the set of commands that must be followed for a computer to perform calculations or other problem-solving operations. And according to the formal definition, which was an algorithm is a finite set of instructions carried out in a specific order to perform a particular task. And we talked a little bit about how algorithms in social media, as relates to Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, or whatever the social media platform is, they have an algorithm that tracks how you interact and how you engage with that platform. And the way that you engage with it tells it, based on what you're looking at, what you're spending time on, what to put in front of you in order to keep you on that platform a little longer. And that's why Facebook is so um, so phenomenal in the sense of advertising, especially before TikTok. Facebook was pretty much the king of the advertising in terms of when you're on Facebook and you engage, or Instagram, and you know Instagram is owned by Facebook now. So when you're on there on any of those platforms and you like a particular subject or you look at a certain thing, then it'll give you more of that or something associated with it. Oh, one of the best algorithms as an example that I can give you is if you're an Amazon Prime member and you buy anything, whether it's a book, whether it's information, whatever you buy, then it'll hit you with an algorithm that says customers who bought this also bought this. and it'll put something in front of you. That's an actual algorithm based on you bought something, and then they're going to show you something that's associated or likely or relative to what you purchased. All right. So did I catch back up, Calvin?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right. So make sure I had to make sure all that information was on there. Okay. Where was I? I lost myself now. I know. Okay. We talked
Talk
about.
about marketing, setting up
Oh,
a
yes.
marketing.
I was telling you about how AI applications can be used in whatever business function you have, which is the reason that AI is so disruptive in the entire marketplace right now. Because when you think in terms of artificial intelligence being computer software or robotics that can complete a particular task that's usually associated with humans, think of it like this. We have self-driving cars, right? So, and it's not perfect yet. That's why Tesla had to recall all them vehicles, and not just because of the power issue when it was cold and all that. But remember when it was talking about how the cars was running over people and all that, because its functionality as it relates to its recognition of things around it was a little askew. And so it ran over a couple people and didn't stop when it was supposed to stop and all that kind of stuff. So they had to recall it. But if we look at where they are today, and we look at these self-driving cars, when they get it really down packed, where it's really functioning at a high level, then you know what major industry that's going to affect more than anything is going to be the trucking industry. Because why would you hire a truck driver who has to go to sleep, right? Who may get drunk, right? Who just may have issues of some kind that's going to affect their productivity and your business's productivity by not being able to be on the move, dropping off whatever the product is and delivering it in whatever area. You know, one of the major things in industry is the fact that you got drivers driving and dropping off packages and all that kind of stuff, right? Like for instance, right now, Mercedes Benz in the Mercedes Benz factory have replaced a lot of people who were on the line putting together cars with robots, right? Because those robots, they don't get tired, they don't get sick. You reduce from a standpoint of your company, from a company standpoint, you alleviate jobs that cause for increased liability because now you no longer have to pay those employment taxes. You no longer have to worry about paying a certain amount of insurance because the machine not gonna get hurt. You know what I mean? So when you think in terms of what's going on with AI, the downside is a lot of people who are not up on AI, particularly over the next 6 years. And the reason I say the next 6 years, because Forbes has even calculated that from now to 2030, AI is going to add $15.7 trillion to the economy. How does it do that? It does that because it alleviates people in positions that increase liabilities for companies, which affect their bottom line, which means they save more money and they make more money because their operations can pretty much run on automated or on automatic for 24 hours. That's what's going on in the industry, right? Like if you look at IBM Watson, the IBM Watson AI application that they have that goes through tons and tons and tons of a patient's medical files and medical information to determine what that patient is going through, what symptoms they having, and it goes through all of their information, medical records, and helps the doctor diagnose what may possibly be going on with this patient as a result of his history and their symptoms. And it does it at such an incredible speed that it increases the capacity for the doctor to get to a diagnosis quicker, right? Um, then you got the like for instance, Amazon. Amazon laid off, I think it was about 800 people in the last quarter or something like that. And a lot of those people that it laid off was the people that moved boxes inside the warehouse, and they got robots and little mechanical robotic scenarios moving packages. And from Amazon's standpoint, you don't hear this in the main media, but when you were talking about it within business circles and productivity and functionality and success of your bottom line of your company and all that, they discuss about how that minimizes packages being stolen, that minimizes packages being broken, that minimizes a lot of things that people was doing in the warehouse that now for that particular functionality, they got robots and machines doing it. So from a business standpoint, that increased their productivity, reduced their insurance liability, reduced their tax liability, all of these things which lend to their increase in productivity, which productivity is their bottom line. So one of the reasons that I even teach AI clarity is so people can get an understanding of what artificial intelligence is and what it's not. And the reason that that's important, because when you look at what you're doing and how you're doing it in this day and time, we all have to come to the realization that if we can enhance our operations by utilizing artificial intelligence functionalities, which alleviates, well, increases our ability to do whatever we do faster and more efficiently, then that lends to our increases our bottom line as a company. And for those of us who understand that all of these companies out here in the next 6 years are going to be making various transformations and transitions to executing on AI capabilities, then they're going to need people to have some kind of understanding of how to prompt, how to speak to and utilize and help them in their transition to using artificial intelligence as a means to increase their productivity in some area of their business or in all areas of their business. And they need people that have some sense of understanding of how artificial intelligence works in order to pay them. Like we still in the early adaptive phase of AI since say between now and say the first quarter 2023 last year. People who were early adapters in major businesses was bringing in prompt engineers. Prompt engineers were people that knew how to speak to, talk to, request of artificial intelligence to improve some area of operation in their business. So they was bringing in prompt engineers and paying them in some instances $350,000 a year, because they was bringing in, and still are now bringing in, prompt engineers at $250 an hour, right? So when you look at now, pay attention to advertisements from colleges and from schools. Now they bringing in people and teaching them the same thing I'm teaching y'all now, which is the fundamentals of artificial intelligence. And when they move into prompt engineering, and then they move into various areas of application within a business operation, from marketing to sales, customer retention, follow up, and in some instances, their administrative operations. They right now in the world of trading, and this is the cryptocurrency, this is the stocks and bonds. They are actually using artificial intelligence to analyze the information that people use to make the decisions as to what they're going to invest in and what they're not going to invest in. So in some areas of these people that do that, they're dependent on information that they're accessing using AI, as opposed to traditional analysts, financial analysts, giving them information as to what it is they may want to invest in. That's one of the new things now. One of the other brothers that I think you met, Sir Rob and them, they using a lot of this AI information that I turned them on to, in terms of understanding how the various AI applications that are being used to help them be better financial analyzing data to make decisions about what they're going to invest in. Any questions, observations, statements? Yes,
You
sir.
rolling right now, and I got plenty of ideas. So So I know it's a bunch of different AI tools out there. Some are general, some are specific, right?
Right.
Are there AI tools that you could give your own subset of data to so they could just analyze and produce the results you need just for one category? So instead of using an AI tool that someone created as kind of general, can I point it in a direction to collect the data and make sure they present it in a certain kind of way?
Yes, you can. It's interesting that you should say that because when I introduce you to ChatGPT, which is one of the ways by which you access, analyze, and how you prompt what you make of it as a request or requested task for it to provide you with specific information that you would utilize for your specific use case. You now have the capability, which has only been developed in the last 90 so days, I think, where you can actually customize GPTs now, right?
Oh, wow. Okay.
And when I say GPTs, that's generative pre-trained transformers. That's what the GPT stand for in GPT, right? It's generative pre-trained transformer, right?
Okay.
And that means that the information that you acquire now, ChatGPT, is because you're accessing about 2 billion, what they call 2 billion parameters of information, which is all of the information available in the internet, in schools, and research, and all that up to, I believe it's April of 2023, right? Um, you can get real-time information because of your ability to specialize GPTs now. So that's something that will, as you go through this and you begin to create or you think about your use case, I can tell you what to use, how to use it, and what you would want to look at as a AI application in order to achieve what you just described.
Okay. You got me sold. We're gonna be having a part two, part three, part
Oh
four.
yeah, because what I'm gonna do is like with this class, this introductory is just this introductory. We talking about generalizations. Tomorrow we will address certain specific use cases as it relates to knowing how to set up and perform and execute on utilizing chat GPT period, because it's all based on your ability to prompt. And prompt is you're asking it to give you a specific result from the request that you make, right? And how you make it. That's the
Yeah.
real, that's the real ability that it comes with prompt engineering. Anybody can prompt generally, but it's when you
Uh,
understand how to prompt and you understand how to get a specific result. And that's where, like I teach you what they call frameworks, right? And like, for instance, when I say frameworks as it relates to prompt, I'm gonna just give you this for a second so you understand. One of the frameworks is called APE, APE, right? And APE stands for action, purpose, and expectation. So the action will be clearly outlining the specific task or activity that needs to be accomplished using ChatGPT. The purpose would be articulating the underlying intention or objective behind utilizing ChatGPT for the task. And then the expectation is when you set forth the desired and measurable outcome that you aim to achieve through ChatGPT's application in this context. So, as an example, action. Could you help develop a content marketing strategy for our new line of eco-friendly sports shoes? Very specific. Purpose. We aim to generate buzz and increase awareness among our target audience, fitness enthusiasts passionate about sustainability. So you gave it the action, you gave it the purpose, and then the expectation is the strategy should engage our audience, create strong brand recall, and aim to drive an increase in pre-orders by at least 25%.
mm,
So you done gave it a specific framework of which how you prompt it to get the desired result.
wow.
Do that make sense?
Yeah, I got you.
Right? And then as an example of another one, we call framework RACE, right? RACE. RACE is you give ChatGPT a role, you give it the action, you give it the context, and then you give it the expectation. So, role would be clearly define the specific role you want ChatGPT to play in the given scenario, whether it's generating creative ideas, providing insights, or making recommendations. Identifying the role is very essential. Like early on, when I said, can you help develop a content marketing strategy? When I gave it that action. Now, if I was to give it the role first, I would have told it to act as a marketing strategist. And if I wanted to give a specific name, like I would say, act as a marketing strategist akin to Dan Kennedy, right? And give me a particular, and then give it to play it in a particular scenario, whether that's generating creative ideas, providing insights, or making recommendations, right? Then the action would be articulate the precise action you want it to take. And this step will ensure that you set clear instructions leading to more accurate and valuable output. Then the context, which we talked a little bit about, but in this context, offer relevant context surrounding the prompt to provide ChatGPT with a comprehensive understanding of the situation. And this contextual information will enable the ChatGPT to generate responses that align perfectly with the given context. And then, of course, the expectation, outline expectations for ChatGPT's response. And by specifying the desired outcome, you will steer ChatGPT towards delivering the most effective and actionable results. Example,
Wow.
example, role. I'm talking to ChatGPT and I say, imagine you are a strategic advisor. Then the action, suggest a set of high impact, low cost growth hacking techniques. Context, this is for an e commerce startup with a unique range of sustainable lifestyle products, which is looking to scale up its customer base rapidly. Expectation, the expected outcome is a selection of practical and feasible growth hacking tactics tailored to the e-commerce industry, which can be implemented to acquire new customers and retain the existing ones effectively. So that's the kind
Oh,
of thing when we talk about frameworks, and there are more frameworks. And it just depends. Once you understand from a prompt engineering standpoint, how you can use these various frameworks, that's what differentiates you in your ability to go in and help a business. Once you sit down and talk to a business, find out what they're trying to achieve, find out what it is and how they are currently operating, find out what their numbers are now, and then you can apply various frameworks to your prompting with their information and get them a specific desired result, which hopefully will increase their productivity by anywhere from 15 to 50, sometimes 100%.
yeah. And I'm just thinking, just on my level, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I get caught up with so many emails as far as, customers wanting quotes and things like that. So
Mm-hmm.
I could have it literally analyze the email. If the customer is requesting a quote, I could have it be the role of the sales representative. you know, I want to feed the information in as far as what the pricing is. And if it's something that's outside of the pricing, then it'll respond like, we will get back to you shortly. But if it's something that's kind of general, it calculates the price, it puts it in like an estimate format, and then respond back to the customer.
You could actually do that. And the reason you're able to do that, some of the things that ChatGPT can do for you, for instance, it could write a blog for you for your website. You could summarize any information that you put in it that you want summarized. It can help you maximize your business SEO by giving you keywords that you might not think of on your own. It's perfect for grammar correction, so it speaks pretty much grammatically correct in terms of the output. Good for translating languages. It's good for things like, let me see, it formulates any writing style you want. I mean, it's just so many things that you can do, particularly like if you want to, because what it sounds like you really want to do, you want to enhance your ability to increase your business operation, right?
Right. That's
Okay,
correct.
so when you talk about that, you can, man, it's just a question of applying the specific use case that you want, depending upon specifically what you want to achieve with it, right? So it can pretty much do a plethora of things, man. You,
Okay.
it's like there's certain things that are part of what I call my AI mastery scenario, in which, like, say for instance, you're a business and you want to turn your ideas into digital products, right? And this is a business, like you either coming up with a business or you already have a business. Because one of the things that a lot of people don't do that have businesses that sell products and services, they don't productize their information. That part of the thing that's the most valuable part of what you've achieved in your business is the process you went through, the thinking that you apply, in the analysis that you came to as a result of the experience that you have that got you to where you actually are a legitimate functioning business. And for somebody that's trying to start a business, trying to understand a business more, or trying to assess what they may want to do as a business, your experience and your ability to articulate what you've gone through that got you to where you are now become a bridge for them to get from where
Mm,
they are to where they want to be. And within that space from where they are to where they want to be, you're acting as the bridge because you're the mentor, you're the
yeah.
educator, you're doing what I'm doing right now to help people have a transformation that they want to experience based on what you given to them is of value to them that achieves their transformation.
Okay. You're absolutely right.
So that's the beauty of it. And when you get specific into what that entails, that's like, say, I'm gonna use digital products for instance. How to create a sellable digital product, how to find the right product ideas, how to find the right target market to sell the product, how to stop struggling from freelancing clients and build your own business. Most of us have no idea where to start at first when we think in terms of transitioning from an employee to a business owner,
Right.
right? And that's usually why most of us, if we don't put in the time for what I call personal, first of all, personal and professional development, meaning acquire the skills necessary to execute on the ideas that you have in a way within the context of doing profitable business. Because a lot of people be doing things, they say they're in business, but they ain't making no money.
Right. It's not
And
profitable. You're absolutely right.
right. And if you're not, a business only happens when a transaction takes place. A lot of people spend too much time trying to figure it out, as opposed to recognizing the sources right that's readily accessible to them for them to go and get the specific information necessary to execute on their desired result by acquiring either the knowledge, the skills, and the expertise by being actively engaged in a process in which they do things over and over and over and over again till there's no longer a lack of familiarity with it. And once you're familiar with something, it alleviates the anxiety that's usually the thing that distracts people, that causes them to procrastinate because they feel like, oh, this is too hard. Once
Yeah.
they accept in the way they frame the process as this being too hard, then it's going to be too hard.
Yeah.
As
You're right.
opposed
You're absolutely right.
as opposed to understanding that everything that you're able to do now, you weren't able to do it in the very beginning. It's just that you maintain a certain level of interest in it, which means you gave it a certain amount of focus and attention. And the more focus and attention you give to a thing, the quicker you acquire the ability to execute on it, because you don't mind doing it over and over and over again till you get it.
You're right about that.
Oh yeah, because
it becomes habit at that point.
Yeah, it's all about the framing of the thinking, because the difference in people who are successful and people who are not, that have good ideas, is people who are successful are willing to do the things they know they need to do, whether they feel like it or not.
Yeah, you're right.
Right? We get up as business owners, we get up every day and we go to one or two things. We get out here and try to find some additional skills that's going to improve our capacity to make more sales in our business. Right? Or we make an effort to talk to more people about what we do have to offer. Right? So those are activities that's associated with moving your business forward. But there are a lot of people that know that's what they need to do, but instead of doing that, they go over here and do some shit that ain't got nothing to do with moving their business forward. They go do those things that are quote unquote comfortable and familiar. But those things that are comfortable and familiar is not getting you any more business.
Preach.
You know what I'm saying? It's only engaged when you engage in those things, especially in the beginning, where they're uncomfortable. And the thing that people have to the thing that you have to come to grips with when you're in any type of business at the outset of your business is the comfortability with the uncertainty of an outcome. When you're trying to, you think you got all the answers, right? You say, well, if I do this, this will happen. But then if you're doing that and it's not happening fast enough, you got to be able to understand and how to frame it from what's not initially working for you is working on you. So if you do it long enough, you become the person that it begins to work for. So those are the things that contribute to a successful business. And what we talking about is adding specificity to our operations, to our abilities to do the fundamental things that's necessary for all businesses to make money. And that's understand who our target client, avatar, whatever you want to call them is, but to identify who it is we do what for and what is it that we do for them that's of value to them. So we need to engage. The more people you engage, the more people you talk to, the more people you interact with, though that's how you learn the best way to approach them and what's of value to them. Let them tell you what's valuable to them and then provide them with that value.
You're right. And they tell you, they literally
they will tell you. All you have to do is have willing to listen.
You gotta listen. You gotta listen.
Yeah. And so a lot of, and see, basically what I do as a whether I'm coaching acting, whether I'm life coaching, because some of my people just talk to me about different things that's going on in their life that they find in difficulty in dealing with. And being around 69 years, I have a tendency to have gone through something on an emotional level that's akin to whatever it is you're experiencing. Because whatever you are experiencing in life as it relates to relationships, as it relates to business, as it relates to being an employee, a disgruntled employee, but all of these things that you find anxiety in, if you frame them a certain way and you approach them from a particular way, and that usual way is for you to identify how much power you really have and be accountable for the wielding of the power that you now identify that you have, as opposed to always seeking outside of yourself, blaming other people for your situation, blaming other people because you're not being effective in what it is you're trying to do. It ain't got shit to do with the economy. It ain't got nothing to do with what laws they passing. It ain't got nothing to do with what the competition is doing. It has all to do with your willingness to put the necessary energy in acquiring the knowledge, the skills, and the practice, actually doing it over and over and over and over and over again, and being comfortable with the uncertainty of the outcome, but understanding the power of the process. So That's what this is all about, you know. And see, being an entrepreneur who's working in various areas of in different levels of certain businesses activities I'm engaged in, and when I'm in these rooms with these successful, very very successful business people and trying to cut deals, and we all come to the conclusion, man, this AI is having an impact. And then we see those of us in business who are actually utilizing AI in our operations to increase our productivity. I said to myself, hold up, how can I say that we about impacting and empowering Black folks? And if this is something that I recognize as an empowering tool and I'm not sharing it, that's who I am. So since I teach everything else, let me get deep into this, which I've been into AI now for over a year, right? So now I understand so much more about the applications, and I'm not a genius with it, but I got access to the information that's necessary to move our thinking forward to where we now can alleviate, because all this is really about is alleviating the anxiety associated with not knowing what artificial intelligence is and being proliferated and bombarded by it all around us. But if we don't have no idea what it is, we stay away from it. The longer we stay away from it, the more we're going to be at a disadvantage, particularly over the next 6 years. So this is my way of contributing to empowering our people on a level where I can at least share something with you really need to know. And then you go run with it, however you're going to run with it. If we can run with it together, fine. But as long as you run with it, run with it. You know what I
Hey,
mean?
we gonna run with it together. I'm loving this already.
Oh, man, thank you, man. So this is what I wanted you to see, bro. You know? Because it's hard for me. Like I tell people, I say, look, I can share some things with you that'll give you some clarity as to what artificial intelligence is. But when we get to talking about it and getting to talking about the use cases and the many ways that you can use it to empower yourself, and we only talking about one aspect of it that I'm specifying that can really for a thinking person that already got an idea of what they're trying to achieve, then it enhances your ability in so many various areas of creating content, creating information, creating products, and it all, man, it's so easy. And when I say easy, the easy part is just making up your mind that hey, I need to know this and be around to learn it. Because everything I got accessibility to, and believe me, bro, I got accessibility to a lot. You know what I'm saying? I done spent shit, maybe about I say about close to 25, $30,000 to get accessibility to information that I got accessibility to, all in the effort to be able to share it with other people. And I'll get my money back over time. You know what I mean? But if I can show, like, like there's some very extraordinary AI tools that you can use in business, right? And get some phenomenal results. And it's because AI tools right now within your business is constantly being updated, is learning and being trained on more and more and more information. So in the area of writing, marketing, generative art, business, productivity, video creation. I mean, come on, it's just so many things that's going on now. And like when we talk about how to make yourself your business increases productivity. And I pretty much go venture say 1,000-fold in some instances, because a lot of the things that you can learn from utilizing AI tools that you can actually execute on in a relatively short period of time. And anytime you can do anything within a 30 to 90-day period that can increase your productivity more than 10 or 15%, you doing something. You know what I'm saying? So if you got a tool that makes you as a salesperson, for instance, you in the top 1% of high ticket closers. High ticket closers are people that have products in excess of $2,000 and $2,500. And you're in the top 1% of people that close deals of that nature. And that ain't even big deals, but those are big deals when you're in the top 1% of closers of it, right? And ChatGPT prompts can help that be the case. If you're in the top 1% of copywriters, the top 100, top 1% of copywriters is people that write copy for people's ads, for people's sales copy, for the information on people's websites. Um, you got you got landing page optimization type prompts that you can do, right? You got prompts to help you skyrocket your social media platform. You got prompts for very, very elite marketing frameworks, right? You got Chrome extensions, you got prompts for developers. But the beauty of it is, as large language models improve, you don't, in a few years, you might not have a need for developers, except if there's some specific code that you want to create. And then if you understand how to prompt, you can get the ChatGPT to create the code for you. You know what I'm saying? So if you know anything about, you ever heard of, you heard the term API, right? Y'all know what an API is?
Yep, I'm with you on API.
Okay, so you know you can connect APIs, right? And when you connect APIs, then that allows you to integrate various functionalities of various softwares by integrating the APIs.
Yeah, and people got APIs out there. You're absolutely right. Now, I'm not big on the programming part, but I am familiar with that. I'm
Yeah,
definitely familiar.
because
And
all it
it's
is,
crazy because
oh,
as you're talking, it just means that we have access to the 1% of the 1% of the best people, which is
exactly,
AI. Like there's no, and it
exactly.
doesn't cost you nothing.
Mhm. And see, the beauty of APIs, when you look at it from what it is from a mechanism standpoint, all APIs are mechanisms that enable two software components to communicate with each other using a set of definitions and protocols, right?
Yeah.
So if you look at it from the example, the Weather Bureau software system contains daily weather data. The weather app on your phone talks to that system via APIs and shows you daily weather updates on your phone.
Yeah.
You know, so,
Absolutely right.
and believe it or not, and when I hear myself talk about this stuff now, it sounds like I went to tech school or some shit, right? But it's just understanding the meaning of what these
Of
terms.
what it is.
Yeah,
Yeah, because in the API, I can use that with my suppliers. So on my website, I can say what I have available, and it's pulling from their servers and their actual inventory.
precisely, precisely. You know, because all it is application programming interface. So it's these are the type of things that's the beauty of learning more about the technological tools that are available to us as regular folks doing any type of solo business or businesses that have teams, right? And if you are, like, for instance, we got a technical director at United Filmmakers, which is our television film and distribution company. And when I first started studying these things, it gave me a better ability to talk to the technical director about the things that he understood that I didn't, but I needed to understand it because I run sales and marketing. So I needed to understand, okay, because initially all I understood was CRMs and sales, talking to people, and but when I thought about it, we are, as a distribution company into film, entertainment, and media, we're technically a technology company because we're on an OTT platform.
Yeah.
So even though our functionality is film and television programming, we're actually a tech company because of the technology that's utilized for us to be on an OTT, over the top platform on the internet, right? Which is what all
Yeah.
streaming companies are. And even
Yeah.
when they free ad supported television, that's streaming, but having ad supported streaming capability, right? So it's just like understanding the terminology associated with the best way to execute on utilizing technology to increase our ability to be more effective, more productive, to get a better result in our bottom lines in our doing business. So that's really what everything I teach is about. Everything I teach is about fundamentally two things are happening. I'm teaching from the authenticity of my experience, from what I'm willing to go out and learn in order to share with other people, because the authenticity sinks in for me when I use it within our businesses, and I'm involved with several businesses, and in some capacity or another, we've all executed on one aspect of utilizing artificial intelligence or automation in our business. Because I haven't told you this, Daryl, but one of the things that I share with my entrepreneurs, because most of the people I teach are budding entrepreneurs on some level or another, is the 4 levels of value, right? And the first level of value is implementation. That means you're the person that do the thing, right? And what resource do you use if you're the person that do the thing? You use your physical capacity to do it, right? So your physical capacity is limited, right? And time is limited, right? So on that level of implementation, you can only make somewhere between minimum wage and about $40,000 a year, maybe 80 if you are a mechanic working on high end cars for Mercedes or Bentleys or something, right? Then there's the second level of value, which we call unification. You're the person that manages the people that do the thing, right? So you're still tied to one's physical capacity to do something. And on both of those levels, you usually get people exchanging time for money.
Right.
And it is a complete fallacy when people say time is money. Time ain't money. Time is infinitely more valuable than money.
You right about that. You cannot get time back.
That's right. You can make money, but you can't get
You
time, right?
mm.
So on that level, unification, you can make anywhere from about $40,000 to up to about $250,000. And the reason I say $250,000, if you're the person that manages a whole bunch of people that mow lawns, you're tied to that physical capacity. But if you are a manager in Lockheed and Martin and you manage people that develop software, right? Then you can make $250,000, but you cannot begin to make wealth on either one of those two levels. The first level that you really begin to create quote unquote wealth on is communication. Communication, you can make millions of dollars. On the low end, you make $100,000 or more, but on the high end, you can make multiple millions. How? On the level of communication, the resource that you use is your mouth. Your ability to create messages that move masses of people to do a thing, or create conversations that create cash flow, right? So that means if you're an actor, you're a writer, you're a producer, you're a somebody that utilizes information to cause people to make a transformation that they desire, which is the value that you provide to them, that you give to them by your ability to speak, write, perform, sing, or whatever. You done watched it unfold right before your eyes. You watch Oprah start a show way back when, and all she did, she wasn't a super intelligent person. She just brought in a whole bunch of people that she communicated with.
Yeah.
And blew up. You got people who have written books, written songs, written poems, written writers. You don't watch Jay-Z. You don't watch Tyler Perry. You don't watch Oprah Winfrey. You don't watch Bob Smith, right? Who started Vista, right? You don't watch these people create messages that move people to take the money out of their pockets and swipe their credit cards and engage in transactions with them, that some of those transactions were worth millions of dollars. And it was all about the message. That's communication. Right? Now, the fourth level, which is the level we all would love to get to, is the level where we use two resources. One, our imagination. And two, our money to make more money. Those are the 4 levels of value. So when you understand that and you engage in those activities on the communication level, then you can make millions of dollars easy. Because it's all,
I'm with the imagination. I like the imagination. Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
that
I can't
imagination,
do the
man.
communication. I can't do the communication. You know what I mean? That's not my talent.
But
But I can
actually,
totally.
you're already doing the communication.
Okay.
You know why?
Yeah, not even realizing
Right.
it.
You know why?
Why is that?
Because you communicated with Dr. Baruch. Dr. Baruch communicated with me, and Dr. Baruch connected us.
Dude, how about that? Yeah, yeah. We look at it that way. I didn't think about that part.
And see, that's the part. That's why understanding the power of communication is the difference in your ability to create, your capacity to create wealth. Because it's not only the fact that you communicate, is what messages are you communicating in your communication.
Ah, because if it's effective and it's value to that person and not to you, oh,
Yeah, because
yeah,
it's never, the crazy part is the more you get deeper into the entrepreneurial journey and the more you get deeper into understanding the power of communication, it's never about what it is we do. It's always about what is it that we do in relationship to the value that we provide to the marketplace.
mm,
But that's where money is. Every dollar you want is in somebody else's pocket. And so what you do fundamentally when it comes to business and doing business effectively, you find a large group of people with some type of problem that you can solve for them.
yes,
And sometimes you start out doing business in one area and you making a little money, but then you find out over time as you communicate that there's some other means by which you can make even more money merely by creating products that give people information. That's what I mean by productizing what you've gone through. That's why I'm an actor, author, producer, cinema director, and entrepreneur. It's not a coincidence. The path that I'm on, I created this path in my head over 20 years ago. And I even had one of my young mentors, one of my mentees point out to me when he used to see, when he used to come to my office and I had on my wall, one of these days I'm going to be a producer of film, television, and theater, film, and television. And that was long before I got to where I am today. And I couldn't have told you when I said that it was going to unfold the way it unfolded, but it unfolded because one of the things I kept in the back of my subconscious is that always be engaged in acquiring the skills that's going to contribute to me becoming the person that has the ability to do the things that I say I want to do.
yes,
Because I can't say I'm an actor and I ain't acted in nothing.
yeah,
I can't say I'm a director and I ain't directed shit. You know what I'm saying?
you're right.
I can't say I'm a producer and I ain't produced nothing. I can't say I'm an author and I ain't wrote nothing. I can't say I'm a singer and I've never sung anywhere. You feel me?
Yeah, I 110%.
Yeah, so whatever follows, I am, right? And none of this has anything to do with money. It all has to do with you becoming the person that has the skills to do the thing that speaks to you saying who you are. And the money is part to take care of itself.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's how I pretty much been rolling, since I was a kid. So you're absolutely
Right, right. And see, one of the things, the beauty of it, bro, is how old are you, Daryl?
46.
See, now you've been thinking like this since how old were you when you first started thinking entrepreneurially?
Shoot, probably 14, 15. No, actually, it's before that. In elementary school, I started a candy business.
See,
In the fifth grade.
see, and you know how fortunate
Nice, David. I like that.
you know how fortunate you are to have engaged in that type of activity as a youngin,
Yeah,
pre-adolescent, because that established the psychology that you know the value of providing something for somebody else that will give you money in exchange.
you're right.
So that's your foundation. That's the same thing with me. I discovered when I was like 13, 14. Well, actually, my uncle, right? I don't know if you listen to the radio at all and you ever heard of Mr. C. Mr. C on the radio on WHUR, that's my cousin. His
Oh, okay.
Carl Henson Sr., his father, planted the seed of entrepreneurship in my head when I was like 12, 13 years old. And it came from him explaining to me that it wasn't always about having a good job. You know, everybody else, get you a good job, especially in
Oh
I'm
yeah,
born
that's
and
what my
raised in
parents told.
DC,
My
get you
mom
a good
told me.
job, right?
Yes.
Whereas he was telling me he was the first black man to have a mail contract in Annapolis. He was the first black man in Annapolis to have a bail bondsman company, a bond company. He was the first black man in Annapolis to have all these different businesses, right? And that's why Mr. C became who he is, even though he in radio and all that. He used to be on the board of the lottery board, right? And see, his father planted the seed, his act, because he's a little older than me. So my kind of watching him made me expand on the seed of understanding, okay. Then I got into Black Enterprise magazines. And when you read about people doing business, then that says to you that you can too.
Yeah.
You know? And so I've had my own business ever since I was 22 years old and I'm 69.
Uh.
I done lost more money than most people make. You
Hey,
know
you
what I'm
live and
saying?
learn. You live and learn. You know,
Exactly.
failure is just an opportunity to get better.
Right. And from every failure, and I started my first business when I was 22. I bought my first house when I was 30. You know, I done had everything from Mercedes to driving Rolls Royces and all that old kind of stuff that you learn is not important at all. You know what I mean? It's
Yes,
like
sir.
you can say that once you do it, right? But you begin to understand that the real wealth is your capacity to provide value to other people in such a way that they had the possibility to change their lives for generations.
Uh.
And when you can do that on a somewhat consistent basis, and it doesn't mean you got to impact a whole bunch of people, but if you can just impact a few. And I done seen where young boys that used to talk to me when I was 22, 23 years old, and they was like 19, 17, 16, like that. And one of them grew up to start his own company. First he got one truck, then he got another truck. Next thing you know, he got a fleet of 8 trucks. And with them 8 trucks, he was doing all kind of stuff in business, hauling stuff, delivering stuff. And this was before Amazon, right? And he was able to buy, he got into real estate because I one time used to flip houses and shit, right? You know, all kind of different things you do when you get money. You
Oh
know what
yeah.
I mean? So, so it's like you learn a lot, and when you're in the right rooms, which you do learn when you somewhat successful in the sense of being able to create cash flow. When you create the right cash flow, then you can pay to be in the right rooms,
Mm.
right? Oh, write this down, both of y'all. Well, if you
All
can't
right.
write, just remember this. Well, it's gonna be on the recording anyway. Um, Stanford E-Corner is on YouTube. It's called Stanford E-Corner. Stanford E-Corner is where Stanford University founders and CEOs of major companies come back and talk to the current engineering, computer science, and technology students that's in Stanford University who are budding and prospective founders of companies.
Mm.
Stanford E-Corner is something you want to look at on YouTube. Start instead of watching cats and what's going on with Diddy and all that BS that don't contribute to anything that could potentially happen in your life. You would want to subscribe to Stanford E-Corner, and you wanna hold on one second. What's up, Rob? So Rob, how you doing, bro?
I'm saying, how you doing, young fella?
Man, we in the class, man. What's going on?
Yeah, my bad, man. I just got finished mine.
Okay.
You do your thing. I'll catch up with you tomorrow.
Well, you can call me after 8:30. It's 8 o'clock. That ain't but 30 minutes.
Okay, I'll hit you up.
All right, cool. All right. So, um, Oh, Stanford E-Corner. You want to subscribe to that on YouTube, right? And what they have is they got what they call entrepreneurial speaker series or ETL speaker series, right? Where all these powerful, successful students who've gone out in the industry and started mostly tech companies and stuff come back and talk to the students who are in the school. And it's just like you one of them now. You in that class because it's their they call it the entrepreneurial thought leader series.
Okay.
You got that?
Yep.
So you got Stanford E-Corner. Now the other one that I want you to be aware of is Harvard Innovation Centers, right? Or
Okay.
no, Harvard Innovation Lab. That's what it's called.
Labs. Okay, I see labs just came up.
Yep, Harvard Innovation Lab. And it's pretty much the same thing, where they bring in all kind of people talking about the things you need to do to have a successful startup company, understanding your value proposition, create products, designing customer centric type of things. One of the things I looked at recently from a business standpoint, because of what some of the things we doing in business, is they had a VC fundraising advice for Black founders, which I think it was four or five people was on the panel talking to the students about how to raise money for their companies. Right? It was what they call a next generation accelerator, right? So it's all these type of things where if you really want to know about business at the highest level, then you got to understand how business is done at the highest level. And
Yeah, that's a very good point.
those two resources for you guys as businessmen you will find it invaluable to your understanding of how to get to the next level. And the next level is where you making not $1 million a year, but possibly $1 million a month.
How about that?
And the only thing that separates us from people that are doing it is things like the information that they are privy to, that unless we in the right circles around the right people having the right conversations, we will never know these things exist.
Never know. By the time we do, it's too late.
Exactly. But the
Mm.
beauty of it is once you find out, it ain't too late. Because I'm 69.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel you. I totally feel you. But look, I mean, the juice you giving us tonight, I mean, man, I'm so thankful for this.
Man, let me tell you something, bro. And I can say this, and I'm not blowing my horn or none of that craziness, right? But I tell you, the people I talk to, when I tell them what I share with my students and stuff, they say, "Well, damn, your class supposed to be about $5,000-$10,000, ain't it?" I say,
Of
I
course,
say,
yeah.
I say, technically yes, and it's gonna get there because I'm about to invest in something where I'm gonna be working with Tony Robbins, Dean DeGraciosi. I'm already working with Forbes Riley and some other people. And as I improve my courses and all that, it's gonna be a $25,000 consultation situation.
But look, we still got to warm up here. I want you to do this live. I feel
Oh
like
yeah,
I can roll folks up in here and you can have a whole little thing face to face right there with the big screen, like all of
Excuse me,
that.
I'm
Like,
sorry. Excuse me, sir. Can I know who this David guy is? Because he's speaking just a little too much along my
oh,
my
who you talk about,
my
my
Daryl?
lane.
apologies, my bad.
Okay, Daryl.
David, Daryl.
Yeah,
Daryl.
Daryl. I'm Daryl. Yep.
I'm sorry, not David. Please forgive me. Daryl,
Yeah.
how are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. How you doing today?
I'm doing well. So Daryl, I would like to get to know you. What kind of stuff are you into, sir? 'Cause you sound like
Uh
you right in my lane.
yeah, I own a technology company, printing company. It's A Digital Solutions. We're in DC and Maryland.
Okay.
Yeah, but all
So
things IT. And printing is kind of like our specialty at the moment, and document scanning, records management.
Okay, yeah. So I do AV. I'm in the AV realm.
Oh, well,
I
you really
do.
need to get here. I just did a studio. I just built a studio.
See, that's crazy. I just left. So I just man, I need to talk to y'all because I'm about to
Hey, hold up,
everything.
Calvin. Hold up,
Everything
Calvin.
is just
Hey,
great,
Daryl.
man.
Daryl, check this out. Calvin, what did I tell you,
Uh,
man? What did I tell you?
yeah, you
What I
did.
tell
You
you?
did.
What I tell
You
you
gonna
what's
put
gonna happen working with me? What I tell you?
I'm gonna meet everybody, man. I'm gonna meet
All right,
everybody.
man.
Absolutely,
And that's what's going
absolutely. I
on
mean,
here. That's if it's not this what we doing right now, then what is it?
yeah,
You
but
can't
this is the
Boy,
kind of circle I like to surround myself around.
Mhm.
Like-minded people trying to take it to the next level. And now, it sounds to me, I got me a new mentor, somebody that's gonna open my eyes on things that I need to be really taking advantage of.
Oh yeah, well, we're gonna learn a lot from each other, man. That's how this really works. It's like all of us, like I always say, don't nobody know everything. So, but if we all have things that we can contribute to a effort where we could all make a nice piece of money, and it'll be based on the value that we provide to people to help them elevate. And it's no greater
man.
feeling, man. There's no better feeling than knowing that you shared something with somebody. Because I'm going to tell you where I'm at. Those two resources that I just gave y'all could never hear from me again. And y'all could take those two resources, and I guarantee you can change your life tremendously over the course of the next 18 months.
I
That's
mean,
how
and a different way of thinking right now. I mean,
it is.
it just kind of just blew my mind. So I'm about to send my all my info in a chat, so at least you got my cell number and address and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I'm driving right now.
Well, it's going to be recorded, so I think
Right.
in the recording you can pull up the chat, I believe.
Okay,
No,
okay.
well, either way, we're gonna all be connected anyway.
Yeah.
But I got everybody number and all that, so you know. And
No,
then
everything you just kept saying stuff, man. Like I literally just did a have y'all heard of Booz and
Booz Allen.
Booz Allen?
Yeah, of course.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
familiar with all
that's
the
a big boy.
technology
That's a
companies.
big boy.
Mhm.
Man, I just did one of their meetings at out there in it was like their marketing because they're a big company. And I thought they're a tech company. I thought they did alcohol, but uh, apparently the grandfather, the grandfather, literally came up with the word booze.
Right.
And come to find out, Booz Allen, they came up with the term the Super Bowl.
Yep.
Wow.
They came up with the term the Super Bowl. So I just did one of their meetings out in Virginia, like out Dulles. And the guy who does their meetings, he's an older guy. He got his own AV company. He was working for PSAV for years, well, a couple of years, but he's an older guy, and he was just talking to me. I'm about to help him with his company basically because he's older and he's ready to. Sounds like he's ready to.
Man, that's how
He's
you
thinking
do it,
about
bro.
moving
Yeah,
out.
I was gonna say that's a great
That's
opportunity
a
right there.
wonderful opportunity.
Man, it's like God is good. That's all I can say. God is
Yeah.
awesome.
All
So
the
like
time.
places, being in the right place at the right time. Like he's about to. Like I literally asked him today. I want you to teach me the game, the whole game. And he just started just spitting all kinds of stuff at me, like how I need to market to who I need to market to, how I need to market. He was showing me all the prior quotes that he's done and for meetings and stuff. Like, I just left I left his house about it right literally before this class started.
Mm-hmm.
When I just dropped off something for him.
I
But yeah,
used
man,
to
it's
back when
like
I
I
was
have access to all kinds of stuff now.
man, I'm gonna tell you, you being in
Complete
AV, man, I'm gonna
access.
tell you something, right? I came out of technology before I got into acting and all that. I worked for Case Internet. Case Internet was the hottest technology company providing internet connectivity to Fortune 500, Fortune 1000, and Fortune, and then federal government and state agencies, right? So I went from providing internet connectivity to going to a document management company and providing document management solutions, which was inclusive of software and hardware, right? And them taking their documents that had retention schedules associated with it, meaning that you got a company, you got information that has to be kept in perpetuity, or you have information that has a 5, 7, 12, whatever many years that you have to maintain that information. So before digital solutions, people would have these vast offices with all this paperwork, right? And see what digitizing does is it minimizes the amount of space you have to use to retain the same information, right? That's a solution for people. So one of the things I did when I was providing a solution for Prince George's County, for instance, when I was with the document management company, one of the things that I was putting together was a deal that was inclusive of scanning equipment and then document managing, digitizing all of the information for the 32 agencies, which are the 32 agencies in Prince George's County. It was like a $7 to $12 million project, right? So you know, and it was those type of solutions that I would provide for companies. And then I went from that to the contract I'm on now, which when I first went to the patent and trademark office, I was installing computers and downloading software. But now I'm the person that recommends to the patent side of the house what to purchase as it relates to the consumables associated with their printer inventory throughout the patent office, right? So it's like one thing will lead to another. Doors will open for you. When I was at Case Internet, I did a stint over at Quest Communications for a minute. And Quest was the first ones to have a fiber optic backbone. I remember when DirecTV used to be huge satellite. So they didn't have programming and all that until they became DirecTV. But at first, they used to provide internet connectivity in rural areas via satellite, right? So I used to sell all those type of solutions. So that's when I first made shit 6 figures, double times by providing solutions. I would get paid checks every 2 weeks. I never touched my checks for like 2.5 years, right? Because of the amount of commission money I was making. I was like, shit. I was going to Vegas every 2 weeks or whatever, going out of the country, all going on cruises, all kind of shit. You know what I'm saying? So we in a new age now, but what I see happening now with AI is the same thing I saw happen with the internet, the same thing I saw with people developing websites, the same thing I saw with applications when applications first became popular and you got the app store and all that. So AI right now, we going through that same type of what we refer to as a wealth transfer. Because with every transfer or implementation of various new applications or new technologies that has the ability to disrupt industry. Because right now, AI is like electricity. You can use it for so many different case uses when you understand what it is and what you can identify as a means by which to apply it in whatever you're doing. It's proliferating throughout everywhere. So it's like it's not going anywhere. It's going to just get deeper, deeper, deeper. And then the beauty of it is when they created ChatGPT, which opened the door for other type of AI applications, which meant that you no longer had to be a developer. You no longer had to be a person that needed to write code because of the large language models being able to translate text and language into computer language. Because at first you had to be a developer to program a computer to do anything. But now you no longer have to be a developer because of its ability to translate your language to computer language. That's how simple it really is. Any questions, observations, comments? Or...
I'm good, man. I'm taking notes, man. Just taking notes. So tomorrow I got
Man, oh man.
Yeah, tomorrow I got some family stuff I gotta do tomorrow, so I'm gonna be out of the pocket for tomorrow. But
I am
you know,
definitely gonna record it. And just like
okay,
I saved this recording of this conversation we having now, I will save it. I will make sure I start the recording when I start talking about when I start the class. So I make sure you don't miss nothing as far as the information about ChatGPT. And then I'm always available for questions or whatever. So, because once you're in the family, you're in the family.
oh yeah, okay,
So
that's
now
that.
our objective, so I can tell you two fellas, since it's just us men tonight, we got a golden opportunity to make money, man, just by referring people to this class every Wednesday and Thursday, right? And so, we got an opportunity to do something phenomenal if we just, whatever else we doing, focus on that as part of what you're doing, because we can help a lot of people and we can discover a lot of people who we could literally work with, because they'll be like-minded people that's trying to do something. And we have the capacity, based on all the areas that each one of us that's here now work in, we can create opportunity for other people, which in turn creates opportunity for us. Make sense?
Makes sense. And I think the three of us could really kick something off. I mean, Calvin says, he's audio, video.
Oh
I
yeah.
got the studio. We could house 10 people per class.
Yep.
And we can start that next week as far as I can.
Yeah. Have you completed your flyer?
No, as a matter of fact, when I got on the line with you, I was like, I need to send that over to the designer so at least she could change up the old one and make it new so we can change the information.
Right. But now you got an idea of how this class go, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So was it what you anticipated, or was it more?
It was definitely more. 10 times more, and you went into greater detail. You know what I mean? Like I had like some general knowledge, but you really was able to like relate it to common things. So it made a lot more sense. But just with your background, it kind of helped me try to see ways in which I could use AI in just my business day-to-day life.
Right, right, right. Oh well, I got your back, man. That's what we do.
All right, there it is.
Because I told you I had a real deep conversation with Dr. Baruch, because I was telling him what I was gonna do with the backdrop and all of that. And then he
Okay.
told me about you, bro. That's why I sought you out. In fact, I called you right then while we was talking, remember?
You sure did.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Sure did.
So that's how powerful our network is. There are a lot of things that's going to happen like that from conversations we have, because it's all about, us helping each other do what we do and supporting each other. The worst thing in the world for me is people that do all that talk, but when it comes to, you got a business, you can do something that I can use, but I'm gonna go give it to a white boy. That shit don't make sense to me.
Really don't.
It don't. All right, fellas. So if there are no questions, then I think I done covered everything I wanted to cover tonight. Or is there any questions that y'all have, or something that you want to know that we haven't talked about? We got like 12 more minutes.
I mean, I'm ready to put the show on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
All right.
so you know what I'm thinking. So on Saturday, Calvin, if you available on my Beach Road location, you should come stop past it like Saturday morning,
Yeah.
about midday.
Yeah, because we're gonna be
So
there.
I can't Saturday.
Are you gonna be available
Okay.
Saturday?
No, I'm at the convention center for
Oh, okay.
not the
You
convention
working?
center. I'm at the Gaylord.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm
you
at the
working?
Gaylord.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what's up. All right,
Yeah,
well,
I'll
this
be
ain't
there
gonna be the
all
last
week.
time we connect.
Okay. Okay.
Definitely
We
not.
we
Like I
connected
said,
now, so we ain't gonna miss each other. We ain't no way you can get away now.
All right, there it is.
All right, fellas.
yeah. So just before we leave, yeah, man. Go
No, go
ahead.
ahead, Calvin. What?
Now I was looking at this. I was thinking about this TikTok with this black guy. He had a bunch of dots, kind of like just on a piece of paper. I don't know if y'all seen it. And he was like, "That's how the black community is right now." But if we put lines between all the dots, then it's a
Oh,
win.
you talking about George C. Frazier. That's one of my mentors. You talking about Click.
Yeah, man, you know every mentor that I say everything about, man.
That's what happened when you've been in business for a long time and you're a black man in America that has been in any way successful.
Man,
Usually it's because of the mentors before us that opened the doors. And and I'm gonna tell you straight up, once you begin to get a little money, then the people that's necessary for you, it's like the way I look at it is that God will put the people that you need to be connected to right there in front of you. It's just for you to recognize that that's what's happening. Right. So when we talk about, we pray and we ask for God to give us what we need, and we thankful. And the beauty of it is when you pray, it's not about asking for things, it's about being thankful and grateful for what you have. And then other things will appear because he already, like that saying, he already know what you need before you know.
right.
You just got to tap into doing something purposeful. And when you're doing something purposeful, the universe will open up to you, because when you're doing things with purpose, with vision, with discipline and consistency, then it'll seem for a minute like it's not working, but all the time it's not working, it's working on you to prepare you to become the person that it'll work for. So the information that you need, the people you need, and then once you understand the universal principle of what I call minimizing time, meaning the best way to minimize time when you're trying to become somebody is to identify somebody who's already become what you wish to become and learn from them. And the biggest thing you
Cut
learn
through the
from them,
BS.
is not their successes, but learn from their failures so that you can avoid the failures. This is what I do, man. I teach. I love it. I can't help it. I get excited when I have an opportunity to share some things that have worked in my life and other people's lives that I know. I literally get excited. You know. All right, fellas. So I'm glad we had. First of all, I want to thank you both for coming to class, man, and interacting, and engaging with me, man. So I'm just thankful to be able to do what I love to do, man, and do it with such good people. So we good to go.
Oh man, it's a
As
pleasure,
always,
man.
I'm so thankful.
Yep. Oh, let me see. Oh yeah, Daryl, you get my I sent you the Cash App, right?
Let me see.
Yeah, it's $ black carpet.
$ black carpet. Okay.
All right. So that'll be, so that's where you send that to.
All right. So I'll go and take it out right now. You say
My
black
brother.
carpet, right?
$ black carpet. You'll see my picture and my name come up.
Okay.
All right, fellas. So I will talk to y'all tomorrow. Daryl, I'll be talking to you, but I'm gonna record the class. Calvin, you be in class and make sure you ask some of the questions that Daryl might have asked.
I'm gonna try to get in his mind and think about it and bring forth those questions. Yes, sir.
All right, fellas, man. I really thankful for y'all, man. So I'll talk to y'all soon.
All right, it's a pleasure.
That was a pleasure.
All right, Calvin. You got once you
All right, sir.
Matter of fact, what's your number, Calvin? I'm gonna go ahead and text you now. What's your number?
202.
Okay.
415.
Okay.
9577.
77. All right, I'm gonna text you in 9 seconds.
All right, fellas.
All right.
All right. Peace.
All right. Thank you, brother, very much, sir. Have a good night.
Peace.
All right,
Good
brothers.
night.
Peace.